Brain organoid biohybrid computers continue to outpace AI when it comes to embodied tasks, and researchers have begun giving them various sensations in a virtual world. Yes, brain organoids, the tiny human brains that you can grow in a literal jar if you want to from human stem cells that can do a lot of stuff, including forms of computation. We have come a long way since 2022. It's only been 4 years since researchers first claimed sentience in the brain organoids. Now, this paper did cause quite a stir in the neuroscience community. Brain organoids can learn using dopamine or ordered or disordered signals. They think that order is pleasurable and disorder is uncomfortable. This, along with their capacity to learn in a biological sense, led to researchers claiming sentience. But seeing as sentience is not really a well-defined thing, and it's nearly impossible to prove that you have the capacity to have an experience, that was debated, and people thought that they were overly anthropomorphizing brain organoids. But I actually would agree that if they're capable of preference, you could consider that sentience. But if we really require something living to understand the experience it's having, we may disclude things like fish or insects, and it gets a little weird when we're talking about lab-made artificial organisms. Nonetheless, let's talk embodiment. Researchers recently found that brain organoids could engage in goal-directed behavior. So when we're talking about agency from a brain organoid, it's very different than talking agency from an LLM. When a brain organoid decides to do something, it's because it has a physiological need. Many researchers also argue that in order to have true intelligence, you have to have a physiological need that you need to maintain. If you're just doing stuff because you're doing it, it's different than if you're doing it in order to maintain some internal homeostasis. The reason that biological organisms do anything is to meet our needs when it comes to breathing or interacting with others because you have social needs or going to the fridge to get cheese at 2 a.m. It's all about maintaining our bodies. But let's talk about embodying brain organoids and giving them sensation. You can grow a brain organoid, that's easy. You can even keep them alive for 5 years or more, but you also have to interact with them. Interaction is highly necessary for proper development. If you do nothing with them and just let them sit indefinitely, yeah, they will tend to degrade. They are, after all, made of neurons, and neurons do really like to have something to do. They embodied them using a closed-loop learning system, so the brain organoids would have just random neural activity. That neural activity would be recorded, decoded, and then information would be given back to them about what they're doing in the virtual world. Now, I know this is a pretty simple diagram, but this is actually pretty incredible. They have an odor field, so they drop the brain organoids in Game World, and they have to go and find their food reward. When they find it, they get ordered signals, which brain organoids seem to enjoy, rather than disorder. You can also train them on dopamine, but that wasn't utilized here. But they also outcompeted AI at the same task. This is exactly what they found when they dropped them in Game World and had them play Pong for the first time. This happened in 2022 when they were outperforming AI then. Both AI and brain organoids are getting better, and brain organoids continue to excel at tasks that humans would do. Now, much like our brains, there's some things that organoids are just not as good at, like doing simple calculations. Yes, you can get them to do it, but AI outpaces them there. But much like us, what they're really good at is embodied tasks, things like navigation or controlling a squishy robot, as well as things like language recognition. And unlike AI, using them as agency is biological agency in pursuit of a goal that is physiological. And multiple research groups and multiple publications have found that yes, brain organoids will pursue a goal for a reward. If what you really want is an artificial intelligence system that has agency that is most similar to us, making biohybrid AI may be the way to go. Building biohybrid computers is not just for fun, although it is kind of fun. There's a lot of benefits, including the fact that they use far less power than our traditional computer models. I mean, hey, OpenAI is planning to build a data center that uses the same amount of power as all of India. Our brains operate on 20 watts, which is not even a particularly bright light bulb. But some researchers also think that this is how we get to human-level models. This is how we can get to intelligence that is comparable to our own. Although if we are being perfectly honest here, I'm not sure our own intelligence should really be the goal. I would think we should go farther than that. In terms of actually making brain organoids useful on a mass scale, yeah, we are getting closer. There is, of course, the L1, clone for short, and that is a personal computer, but servers do exist, and researchers are scaling up. And this could probably be a video all on its own, because a brain organoid can live and learn, but it eventually expires. I mean, some of them expire after about 3 months, and that is the case with CL1, and some of them can live for many years, but we haven't made that long life useful. They still need to be able to teach the next generation what they've learned during their lifetimes, and that's something that researchers are working on. The concept of a knowledge transplant just feels wrong. I will continue to bring you guys the bleeding edge of brain organoid research, in part because I just really enjoy talking about it. I hope you've enjoyed this. Follow for more.